Hey everybody, Chase Larson here with Badger Sportsman Magazine. The puppy Weston and I, we are getting everything ready for our first deer hunt of the season. Obviously, you know, it's October right now. It started in September, probably September 14th, I believe, here in Wisconsin. And, you know, pre-rut's just starting to kick in. For me personally, this is going to be my first sit of the year coming up this weekend. I've been out with the pup trying to get him on a first couple of retrieves for duck hunting and duck season here. So right now it's the week lull. If you're north of Highway 10, congratulations. You can shoot for the week duck hunt. Here it's kind of a standstill, which is fine. It gives me time to prep and give you guys my quick tips, my 5 quick tips for you guys to get out there, be safe, and be successful here on your next deer hunt. So with that being said, guys, we're going to dive right into it. So the first thing that I like to do is I want to take my bow and look it over. Step 1 here, guys. I'll cosmetically check every time I go out, whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, or 2:30 or 3 o'clock at night. Whatever time I'm going out and going hunting, I'm going to do this step. I'm going to do all these steps. So I'll go in, I'll check, cosmetically check, I'll check the limbs, cams, make sure everything's all straight. You know, I'll make sure my sight pins are fine, my rest isn't looking all dinged up and scratched and isn't out of place. Once I cosmetically check that, I'll go over and I'll look and see if anything is loose. What I mean by that is I'll hit it. So I'll hit the bottom, I'll try to hear if there's any sort of loose bolts or nuts or anything like that. I'll go through and I'll manhandle a little bit my sight, my rest, tighten up my stabilizer if you have one, and I'll go through and I'll check all of the nuts and bolts that are on this, on the limbs, cams, stuff like that. So if you guys have some sort of rattling in there, do not pull it back. Check it out, tighten everything up, hit it again until it stops. If it doesn't stop, go to your local tech. They'll go through the whole thing and they'll probably figure out what's wrong with it. They'll probably put it in a bow press to make sure everything's fine. But make sure that you have all of that and that there's no rattling. Usually if you do hear rattling, it's probably because your stabilizer, your rest, or your sight is loose. So make sure everything's down, locked tight. Then the next thing I like to do is I like to go over my strings. So step 2, I'll go over my strings. I'll make sure that all the servings around the cams, limbs, whatever, is fine. There's no stretching. There's no real big stretching. If you guys do have some stretching, a little bit of it, that's fine. Usually it's just because the string stretches inside your bow after shooting it so many times. Usually you have pre-stretched strings. It does help, but it's going to happen whether you're in the bow or not, because it's going to stay here for a very long time, especially if you take care of it. Next thing I want to look at, I'm going to look at my serving through my peep sight, make sure that's all locked down, ready to go, there's no fraying there. And then I want to make sure that my D-loop and kisser button is right on the nocking point and stuff like that. Then what I'll do, if I see cracking or a lot of fraying, don't shoot it, don't pull it back, because it could blow up in your face. Go get a new one, spend that $100 and get a new one for your bow. But if you don't go through, I usually take some string wax, put it there, put it on all the exposed, non-served string, rub it in, make sure it's all fresh and ready to go for your hunt. After that, guys, after I've looked this over, make sure there's not anything going on, I'll go through the rest of my gear. The next step that I'll do is I'll go through my arrow. Whatever arrow you're shooting, guys, whether it's gold tips, whether it's Carbon Express, whether it's Easton, anything that you're shooting, make sure that it's not cracked. Go through, bend it a little bit, hit it, make sure there's nothing loose, feel around, see if there's any carbon fiber sticking up. Go through and check your broadhead blades, make sure that they're sharp and that they're not bent. Go through, make sure your fletching is fine and that there's no rips or tears in your fletching and there's no cracking in your nock. Once you have that, you're all set to go. Then you'll move on to your rest, or your release. Take a look at your release. If you're using a hand release, just check the tension, make sure that's fine. Last thing you want to do is be pulling back that bow and get a quarter of the way back and the thing releases on you and you pop yourself in the mouth, or you injure somebody else around you. So make sure that you have your release. If you have a wrist strap release like mine, make sure that there's no fraying or real big fraying in your wrist strap where it connects to your actual release itself. If you do have a lot of that, it might be time to invest in another one. Probably taking thousands of shots out of it like I have. And make sure that your tension and everything else is greased up, ready to go, and you're all set with that. I don't know about you guys, if you guys do use a rangefinder, just make sure that your battery is on and that it's worked and you don't need to change that out. I usually take that out and mark a couple trees when I get in the stand, kind of refresh my memory on what each distance is when I'm in the stand and which way is going to be the best way for me to take a doe or a buck when that situation arises. So with that being said, guys, once you have all of that looked forward, the last and final step is taking some practice shots. Whether it's early morning, 2 o'clock, or later in the afternoon, you're going out for an evening hunt, sit for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just grab your target, throw it out there. This is the Reinhardt 18-in-1 target. I love this thing. I've used it for years. I'll grab it, just throw it out there, make sure everything's all set and that there's, that it's safe where you're shooting. Go back 20, 30 yards, shoot 2 shots, ready to go, get on out there and hit the stand. So those are my 5 key things that I like to do. One thing that I do want to stress is that when you're checking over your equipment, make sure you're checking your safety harness. I don't have that on me right now. This is mainly just for your bow, but for your clothing, that equipment is the most essential piece that I can't stress enough for you guys. Get one. If you don't, make sure that there's no fraying in anything. Make sure that it fits nice and tight, but enough where you're able to move around and maneuver in the stand. But make sure you guys are being safe out there. It would be a tragedy if you're going out doing something that you love and you can't come home to share those experiences with your friends and family. So with that being said, guys, these are the 5 tips that I have for you. Good luck this fall if you guys have been out there. Hopefully if you guys have had some great encounters and shots at some nice deer. Putting meat in the freezer, sharing those memories with your friends and families, and getting out there and being safe. So make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys get out and check out all of our social media platforms. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have our website that has a whole wealth of knowledge you guys don't want to miss out on. We have stuff dating back from 2014, all relevant information. We have an online magazine as well as our print. Subscribe to that. It's pretty easy. 1, 2, or 3 year subscription. Buy a 3-year subscription to get one for your friend for free. So we have plenty of deals going out there for you guys, and our main goal is to get you guys educated, get you guys out there doing different things and enjoying what nature has to offer and being successful at it as well. So get out there, guys, shoot straight. You've heard it here with Badger Sportsman.